Are you having vivid dreams right now? Because I am, and I believe many are. I'm having super, super vivid dreams right now, which I believe is part of these energetic portals that we're moving through. It's also due to other activity, like the interstellar objects that's in our vicinity, shall we call it. It's still very far away technically from the planet, but it's close enough to have an effect. And I believe, Three Eye Atlas or Third Eye Atlas and Swan R2 and many of these other interstellar objects have a profound impact on our consciousness evolution right now on Earth. Vivid dreams is very much one of those. We saw the Italian graph, the Schumann graph, Cumiano, really, really doing some crazy things this week. And not long after, just noticing that, of course, the Ascension symptoms came through as well. A lot of headaches, a lot of third eye clearing, which also Third Eye Atlas could have something to do with. And I don't know about you, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you also experienced a lot of symptoms this week. Also a lot of interrupted sleep, where I wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and then unable to sleep after that. Almost like waking up in a cold sweat. Not really, but I had once or twice I had some nightmares as well. Very vivid dreams and nightmares. And but on a couple of occasions I've had some very interesting vivid dreams as well. It almost feels like other timelines that are converging, because actually there's 1,000 timelines playing itself out right now, and we are all choosing what timeline we want to be on right now. So in that process, we're collapsing other timelines, we kind of converging them, we're working things out in other timelines in our sleep. And so a lot of that stuff that seemed a little weird, they're kind of familiar but a little weird, are just really other timelines that have been playing out, because in this human consciousness we play out all these scenarios and then we decide which one is going to be the main timeline, and then the others kind of collapse into it. And we are on a high timeline right now, and all these other weird ones are kind of collapsing and playing itself out. I mean, for me, even in one of them, I remember it so vividly, because a lot of my dreams, you kind of remember it vaguely when you wake up, and then you just instantly forget it after that, which is like, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe we're not supposed to remember all these things or place so much focus on what really happened. But the one that really stuck with me was that it's just one moment in my dream where I was in a group of people, and there were these drones coming towards us. And the one person, which I don't remember who it was, looked at me and said, that's a reptilian drone and it's coming for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just took this little block, and as it came closer, I just whacked it, like literally like a baseball bat. But instead of a bat, I just had a small little block, and I was hitting this thing like out of the park and into oblivion. That was kind of weird, and I'm still wondering what that really means. But I would love to hear from you if you also had some strange vivid dreams. The truth is we all astral travel at night as well, so there could be some of those things that bleed over that we actually remember. And a lot of stuff is coming back to me, like remembrance. I remember as a child. Now I realize how I was astral traveling quite regularly, and I was aware of it because I felt myself just before sleep starting to float. Like I could distinctly feel myself floating above my bed, like I wasn't in the bed. The body was there, but I wasn't there. So I was starting to float upwards. And I could remember those, and I still remember those as a child. It was very, very, it wasn't scary. It was very, very interesting. And I didn't quite understand it at the time, because of course I would fall asleep just shortly after that, because it was waiting for me, my human body, to go to sleep so that the soul can astral travel, the consciousness can astral travel. And those moments before I fell asleep, I could remember those things. And also the funny thing is that I knew I was like really out there doing stuff, because I was one of those children that slept like a rock, like a bomb could drop next to me and I would not wake up. A couple of times I remember as a child, we had an alarm system in our house, and it would go off in the middle of the night. Now, the way my room was situated was quite close to the alarms, like, what do you call them? It's not a microphone, it's like a megaphone or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but you know where the alarm actually, the sound comes from? It was close to my bedroom. And everyone would be like awake and in a flurry and sees all the doors closed. And, is there somebody trying to get into the house? I would be fast asleep. And I was the one closest to that alarm. I wouldn't wake up at all. So my family used to laugh at me because nothing could wake me up. And I just believe I was very busy upstairs. And therefore, my consciousness really took a while to get back into the body. And so no one was home during those hours in the human body, that is. So it's interesting to start thinking of these things and to remember that as children, we did it effortlessly. I also remember being in my imagination so much that it was actually, it was kind of shamed out of me at some point, because I would be in class staring out of the window and people would speak to me and I would not hear anything. I wasn't there. I was literally just like staring out of the window like that, but my consciousness was somewhere else, and it would take them a while. They would have to come and like shake me for my consciousness to come back into the body, and then of course everyone would laugh and I'd be so embarrassed. So that is how those things are like shamed out of your system, and you lose those abilities, and later in life we have to reconnect with those abilities. So it's sad, but it happens, and we went through this journey for a reason. We went through the amnesia and the disconnection for a reason, so that today we can be part of the light warrior movement that wakes up humanity. Because if you're too far kind of into, let's say, the future, I don't know how else to put it, you can't really help those around you. You can't be a bridge between the two. You would just speak like a foreign language to them that they would never understand. So we had to go through that process of amnesia, disconnection, to be able to be brought back to those latent gifts and skills in a way where we could still appeal to those sleeping masses around us that had no idea what we were talking about. So that's what I believe. So, I don't see anything as a bad thing. Nothing that happens to you, you're not a victim. Nothing that happens to you is bad. You chose all of this. You chose everything. You chose to be part of this adventure called human life. So embrace it. Don't run for the hills every opportunity you get. Of course, you have to protect yourself and all of that. But the thing is, once you know that you create your own reality, then you don't need to run so far from things anymore. You don't have to go and live in some faraway village where you don't have contact with any other humans because you want to escape the matrix. It's not about escaping the matrix. We are not here to escape the matrix. We are here to and transmute the false matrix and turn it into the organic new earth, basically, where this beautiful, absolutely blissful, peaceful planet is anchored in on, the new earth is anchored into our reality. So that's how we break out of the false matrix, not by running from it, but by integrating all the shadows and the darkness and the constructs, and by transmuting it for everyone, that slowly but surely this false 3D matrix is alchemized into a new earth environment. So we're not escaping it, we're not fighting it, we're not breaking out of it. We're literally alchemizing it from the inside out, turning what is dark and constrictive into something that's bright, luminous, liberating, and ultimately extremely freeing. So that's my take on vivid dreams, astral travel, and breaking out of the matrix. Remember to subscribe and follow on YouTube, and I will speak to you all very soon. I'm sending you much love.